Today's been a fairly busy week. Spent the first portion of it redoing a lot of the main UI.
Today's been a fairly busy week.
This week's been a fairly busy week.
So I have encountered some issues with my UVs. I had been letting 3S Max automatically flatten the maps, and it seems to have resulted in some of the pieces of ships maybe being too small or in the wrong scale, so that when I try to add detail it sort of stretches and pixelates and leaks here and there, so that's something I'll have to bear in mind and see if I can. I'm probably going to have to manually redo the UVs at a later date, which I'm not looking forward to, but for now I'm focusing on trying to get some detail in whilst avoiding that pixelating. So I've moved on to detailing on the storm ships, and I'm currently looking into ways to add a nice paneling effect, again whilst avoiding the pixelating. Also completed the detailing on the oceanic battleship now, so all of the oceanic ships have a nice amount of detail on them. The battleship's looking nicely sort of roughed about and bashed up.
So this week I set up to rebuilding the shipbuilder. We had a lot of criticism and things that we could improve on after the arcade, and that's what I set up to do. I removed the drag and drop features to it because it felt a bit clunky and a bit not needed. Reworked into a simple button press. It's now a bit more obvious what the player has to click. Opening selected areas once they've completed button clicks. We've also aiming to change from an image showing up what ship you have to a 3D model, giving a bit more idea of what you're selecting. We also want to show off a bit more background text for each selection. So we've added an area which allows you to read the background and a bit more about the weapon or the ship you're choosing.
Right, sorry about no camera this week, but I've basically left it way too late and it's dark so my camera won't work well. This week I've been pretty much working on trying to improve the visual feedback for the player perspective. Currently we have a major issue I feel where a few weapons are very visible, but because it's a dark atmosphere lots of weapons aren't really noticeable. So to counteract that I've been basically working on making weapons look just brighter and glow more to give more of a neon-y type theme and more of a sci-fi of a theme. On another note, for what else I'm working on, I have been working on menu concepts. Like this is a super low res one, but I've just been quickly sketching in Photoshop. I think this isn't a bad way to approach it at all because it's minimalistic and it should hopefully be more appealing than our current menus, which are basically just Unreal Engine default, and they are really ugly right now. Right now Jordan and Finn are reworking the menus so it's a bit more linear, but visually it's still going to be very bland, so I'm working on trying to make it look a bit more interesting. So we're going for basically the goal's going to be a ship's going to be in the middle which just rotates, and then the player can understand what they're putting on the ships, and I'm just trying to make it clearer for the player what they're picking, if that makes sense.
So I spent the first couple of days working on rebuilding a lot of the UI. We've been using a lot of sort of placeholder and pieces for the network UI, so the host and the joining lobby and everything. There's a lot of surplus in that, so we've removed a large portion of that, so it is literally the main menu is play, quit, and when you press play you choose LAN or online and that's it. Outside of that we've actually had a couple of things going on at the hub this week. Yesterday we had, what was his name? Arwin? From the Welsh Government careers, businessy sorts of people. I'll remember the term at some point. There's been a workshop. It was 3 days worth of stuff crammed into about 5 hours. So fairly intense, a lot going on there. Fairly tiring, but a lot to get out of it. And then today we've got the Transfuser documentary film crew. So I'm sat here with this digital camera and a fairly cheap tripod, feeling slightly intimidated by this absolute monster, an entire film crew. So yeah, I'm sure we'll have some footage of people taking photos of people taking photos of people taking photos at some point, just for the lols. And that's basically this week.